is that, let's say perhaps a Muslim says, well, brother, I was born Muslim, so was my mother and father, my grandparents. You're a revert. I'm not a revert, I was born Muslim, but let's say he'll say that. Most people say you're a revert, or your parents are reverts. You don't understand Islam like we do. You learned Arabic. I've been speaking Arabic for years. My parents, they come from this part and from this country and so on and so forth. You don't understand Islam. You just went overseas and learned Islam. Perhaps somebody may say this, which many people do. Whether they say it with their tongues or with their actions. They may be afraid to say it or whatever. We know this is a reality. No problem. Why the person may say, why do I have to learn Islam again? Why do I have to empty my cup? And we've been practicing Islam for so long. Is this not the case? Somebody may say this. Why do I have to get rid of the information that I have just because you say so, brother? We say one of the reasons why is because you live in America. If you remained in Bangladesh and you stayed around the people, your family members that practice this type of Islam, it wouldn't be no problem. You go with the traditional practice, the ulama, the mullah that you trust and you respect. But now you've come to America. And what did you do when you came to America? You did what? No. No. I came to America to make money. I came to America to do this. But what happens when you live in America? What's going on right now? Not cultural change. I keep my culture. But what's going on right now?
Busy life.
Huh?
Like a very busy life.
Very busy life, something else. Very important. So everybody raise, you interact with different cultures, with different types of Muslims. In Bangladesh, I never saw a Muslim except that he was from, let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, Jamaat Tabligh. Hypothetically speaking. And I was in India, and the only Muslims that I came in encounter with were Sufis, for example. Not saying all Muslims in India are Sufis, it's just a hypothetical example. But the moment you come to New Jersey, everyone is not from Bangladesh or India. Everyone is not Jamaat Tabligh. In other words, people are practicing Islam differently. So there has to be something different in Islam. I never even saw nobody pray like that. I never knew that was obligatory. I never even heard of this hadith. I never. I normally don't go to this masjid, but today I was traveling, I stopped and I went to the masjid. And the imam, he gave a khutbah and he talked about something I never heard about and it was interesting. The moment you interact with different people, now your mind has to be moving. There is some other information out there that perhaps I didn't get in Bangladesh. There's a hadith or 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 that I never even heard of. My parents never even heard of. Now it's the cultural melting pot. You have to learn something new because you were never properly taught Islam. You just learned Islam through your cultural practices. Everybody understand this? So now it's mandatory to do what? I have to get rid of all of those previous teachings and search and find what's correct and then put it back. What I have of the previous teachings, I keep. That is good from the Sunnah. What is baseless, it must be erased. It's just that simple. Everybody understand this? If you lived in one country, it wouldn't be a problem. But now you come into different Muslims now. In other words, the way you're dressed and the way she's dressed, it has to be a reason why. And that is upon you to learn and to seek.
I just want to add something that I'm not sure about other countries, but especially what we see in Pakistan, that people have changed practices they used to do before. Now more people know what is real sunnah, what is bid'ah, because there are people who learn Arabic, they're traveling, they're learning through internet and other things. So they are also changing.
That's right. Access to knowledge, let alone the efforts that people have made in making a movement and pushing the people to learn. And the whole concept of sunnah and bid'ah. Why? What's the big deal with bid'ah? There's no doubt about that. So it isn't the same anymore. I'm not in a village in which is my mother, my father. He's the Quran teacher. He taught everybody in the village for 50 years. It's different now. It's something else out there. And it's your job and my job to learn the basics. But before you learn and discuss any issue, the importance of getting rid of the pre-assumptions. You have to get rid of all the previous teachings. And you got to start from the beginning. As you just mentioned, Arabic, online, learning, access. Knowledge is accessible now. And as one of my students said, Brother Zakaria, one of my students, he's from Guyana, he said, and now he says, in the 21st century, he says, ignorance is a choice. Ignorance is a choice. There's no excuse for a person to be ignorant in 2016. Everything is accessible. You can ask a question. You can. There's just so much availability of ilm today. So that's very important.